I'm going to do a test on this motherboard that I've done 2 tests before on. And after reflowing the game card slot pin, I hopefully figured out why the game card slot was being a little finicky. So I first need to put it back together. I was using this motherboard to test various components, shoulder buttons, Wi-Fi cards, things of that sort. So it was kind of my guinea pig. So I just have to get it back reassembled, which is easy enough. Okay, I'll move this out of the way to get these shoulder buttons in. Left shoulder button. Let me put the volume in first. Oh, silly me, that's the wrong one. Goes over there. Right, now we can focus on the main board here. Well, I guess I don't need to plug in the antenna. And I'm only going to be checking the game card slots, so I can leave some of this unplugged. Which means I can leave that unplugged. And just go in kind of like this. Okay, I will get to those screws when I put back the original motherboard. I'm hoping this battery is charged. Oh no, this one was the one that does maybe need charging, or it might be dead. Alright, let me get my game cards. A whole lot of them. Now, me not putting the console together will mean I won't be able to fully test the game card slot like I would a thorough test that I do for these game card slots, but I should at least be able to assess any problems. And I am kind of going a little above and beyond what a game card slot should be expected to perform at. It did just cut out there for a second. But I'm unable to repeat it. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the game card in normally. Game will pop up, as it should. And then I'll put my fingers on it and jiggle the game card side to side. There's a tiny bit of play in the game card slot. And then I'll slowly push down on it while I'm shifting it from side to side, seeing if I can get the game card to vanish from the menu, all the way up until the ejection point of the game card. And then just for fun, I just keep going until I completely bottom the card out in the game card slot. And just try and get it to disconnect randomly. The only times it's been disconnecting, with the exception of Zuzu, which it did once, but I wasn't able to repeat it, it should read all the way through. So far, so very good. I'm not exactly sure how thorough I should be with just doing motherboard testings. So these motherboards I'll be eventually selling separately. But if I test them at the usual rate that I do, it would take way too long to go through motherboards. So current plan is to just do one test on them, and only do repeated tests if I find any problems. Because at that point it's just unnecessary, and I'm not testing for as many components as I would be if I were putting together a console for sale, where I don't have to test every single button, I don't have to test screens, I don't have to do anything of that sort. It's just the motherboard. Which, pretty much the only things I really need to test on a motherboard is if the thing powers on, and if both the game card and the charge port work. The rest almost always will work, aside from like liquid damage reasons, but since liquid damage adds so many variables, that's not even worth considering. Most of my motherboards that I have are in good shape. And the ones that aren't in good shape usually get junked, which is good because they can have components on that are very, very good. Very useful that I can use in other consoles. Alright, I think I'm going to stop there. This has read about, I don't know, 12, 13 game cards perfectly without any problem, so I think I'm going to call this motherboard good. I have no reason to suspect this motherboard has any problems. Possibly that cracked solder joint on one of the game card pins was causing that problem to begin with. I also did a cleaning on it, so I think a combination of the two fixed it. Red game cards. Red game cards perfectly. Perfect. So let me get the original motherboard for this console back into it. And I'll pop into my section of consoles that need more testing so that I can get this console sold, hopefully. So I don't think I had a... Oh yeah, okay, this is the Wi-Fi card that I had associated with this console because my other one has its Wi-Fi board with it. Wi-Fi boards are a bit of an enigma to me. They sometimes work perfectly fine, other times they'll throw errors. Like while I was sort of getting consoles together, or getting components ready for sale, I was finding Wi-Fi cards that just plain didn't work. These ones right here, they just didn't prevented boot. I don't really know why. Because before, I was always convinced that the Wi-Fi card was never the problem. I've never run into an actually failed Wi-Fi card. It was always something with the motherboard. But I may be open to the idea that that is not the case. Alright. This motherboard I will sandwich with this note and put it in a pile because I'm going to need to get a representative motherboard from every region that I have. US, PAL, and Japanese, which that one was Japanese, in order to make an eBay listing. Hopefully get these motherboards sold to people who want them or need them. I hope to sell them at a pretty good price so I can get some return. A lot of the components I'm selling right now, I'm selling at a... I don't want to say I'm selling them at a loss, but it's a lot of effort for very low-cost parts. Yeah, this poor console's been sitting on my desk for weeks. Finally happy to get rid of it. Or not get rid of it, but put it in my shelf. I don't know if I want to sell motherboards with their Wi-Fi cards. I think I might sell them separately. Until I learn more about Wi-Fi cards, whether or not they actually matter. Well, of course they matter, but whether or not they're... if certain firmwares are only responsive to certain motherboards. Oh, I have my bags of Wi-Fi boards down here. Chuck it in there. So these are my Burgundy notes. Okay. Got all this in. I need to get the antenna back onto this Wi-Fi board. Okay. The camera ribbon cable I'll plug in when I get my motherboard here secured. As well as the power board so things don't fall on me as I'm trying to plug it in. to be honest, I actually don't remember what battery went into this console originally, so I was wondering if I indicated that I need to redo a battery test, which I did. I did put new screens in it, so I just want to verify that new screens sort of alter the power draw enough. There's this battery, which I don't know is completely... It's flat. I can't power anything on with it, but I'm wondering if it will receive a charge. I might try and charge it off camera when I put this thing back together. Just for the sake of it being maybe salvageable. Charge light blinks at me, then, well, it's probably a little beyond saving. I'm not going to try and jumpstart it. I don't have the tools to do that anyway. You know, I probably should have put in a bezel while I had the thing open, but that is going to be a problem for later. To be honest, I'm not even sure if I want to keep this screen combo. Though I said it's a bit fruitless to try and find perfectly matching screens. I might want to try a little more with this one, because the bottom screen is a little more blue than the top. And it's kind of right at that threshold of, is it bad enough for me to care? Does my need to have a perfect match outweigh the need of, or outweigh the actual value of spending the time searching for one? Don't know yet. That's a problem for future me to figure out. So here's the battery. I just want to know if it's receptive to a charge. I have my charge meter right here. Yeah, it's pulling. I want to see if it'll jump up to 0.5 amps. I wonder if it'll power. Okay, cool. Yeah, this battery is still good. Why it's sort of giving me the Wi-Fi card issue. Guessing the Wi-Fi card maybe dislodged a little or something. Let me go back to my other battery. Oh, maybe this was the one that's dead flat, because I'm not getting anything power-wise, but it is charging. A little bit. It might need that initial trickle charge to try and jumpstart it. Oh, there it goes. It's going up. Yep. Cool. So this battery works. Why the console's not powering on? That's a fantastic question. Should be. Really not super interested in taking this console apart multiple times. So I do have other things I would like to do. Now, why it was showing me a black screen was related to this Wi-Fi card right here. Now, these things are one of the most finicky components on this entire system. I almost wish they would have just soldered it to the board. At least then it'd be a little easier to work with. That's the dead battery. There it goes. Make sure that's all clipped in nicely. This is the dead one. I'm actually going to go grab my charging dock so I can just slap this guy in. Nah. As cool as that would be, I don't necessarily think I have the most space for it right now. I mean, I could put it like right here. I need a bigger desk. I think that's really the conclusion I'm drawing. Let me go check. I have this cool DSi XL little charging dock that you just slap the console into. Wow. And it will charge it. I think it's the coolest thing. And it does kind of fit up there. I do have a OEM charger that I can reroute to the back of my desk. It is just kind of tangled up in here. To add to the rat nest of cables I have behind my monitor. Hell yeah. Alright, well, this console will be going through additional tests, maybe swapping screens, don't know yet. That'll be a problem for later.